Hey guys, Mr. Johnson here. We are going to start on lesson 2 of volume. Today we're going to be finding the volume of a right rectangular prism by packing with cubic units and counting. So today's going to be a little different. You have to kind of use your imagination because we don't have any cube. You guys don't have cubes at home. And we're going to be kind of taking a grid and trying to imagine it looking like a cube and figuring out how many cubes would fit in that giant bigger cube. All right, so that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be counting cubes and figuring out how many will fit in these right rectangular prisms that we're going to be focusing on. So if we were at school, we would be taking this gridded paper. It looks like a T, it looks like a plus sign, and we would be copying this image on the grid paper, and then we'd want to cut around it, and we'd want to turn it into a actual cube. So just looking at this outline of this grid, I want you to think about how many cubes would it take to fill this box up. Now, if you're struggling with this, I actually found what this little grid would look like if it was all folded up and turned into an actual cube. So if you need to, you can figure out how many cubes are there, how many cubes make up that right rectangular prism, which is 8 cubes. So if we were talking, now we're talking about the volume of the box. If we're going to be using centimeters, it would be 8 cubic centimeters or 8 centimeters cubed. So obviously you don't have a partner to turn and talk to, so think about different ways that we could pack or different ways we could count these cubic centimeters. And there's a few different ways we can go about it. So we obviously just the standard way, we can count each cube one at a time, one by one. We can also put in a row of 2 on the bottom and then another row on top so that you have 4, and it looks like a slice. So you'd have 2 slices of 4 right next to each other. And that another slice makes 4 more, which would be 8. Or you can think of it like a building. You could put 4 on the bottom and then put a second story, a second floor, another 4 on top of that. And we know 2 levels of 4, 2 times 4 is 8. Or we can count by 2 or by 4 to figure out our total volume of 8 cubic centimeters. We're going to move to a different right rectangular prism, but we would basically be doing the same procedure as with our first one to make that prism into a box, but we want the same result. We're going to look for the volume of this box. So I'll give you a second to try and figure it out with just the gridded shape, and then here in a little bit I can post the actual shape of this right rectangular prism. So here's what the right rectangular prism would look like if we folded up all those sides. So if you're struggling with that, you can go ahead and find how many cubes there are in total, finding the volume. And there are 16 cubic centimeters. So we want to think about, how does this compare to the volume of the cube we just looked at? Thinking back to what the volume was of our first cube. Okay, so our first cube was 8 cubic centimeters, and we just said that this cube was 16 cubic centimeters. So going from 8 to 16, that's obviously doubling. 8 plus 8, 16. 8 times 2 is 16. So what do you think happened? Why do you think that might be? How did it double? So it was like the 2 of the first boxes laid side by side. So we obviously, our first box was 8, and if we took another 8 boxes and put them right next to each other, it would create 16. Or we could take the bottom layer. The bottom was twice as long, but it had the same number of layers. So the first box had 2 layers of 4, which made 8, but this layer has 2 layers of 8, which makes 16. Also, with our last box, the height was the same height. It was 2 layers high. This box is also 2 layers high. We just saw that the cubic centimeters on our bottom layer doubled. Each layer doubled from going from 4 to 8. So in total, we had 16 cubic centimeters. Now, unfortunately, for our last grid, I was not able to find an actual cube. So for this one, we're just going to have to kind of talk it through. Um, so what do you think the volume of this box would be? So try really hard to see if you can figure out what the side lengths are. So you can see the flaps show the number of layers. So the bottom has 16 cubes. If we look at if we count all the cubes that are in gray, there are 16 there. And then if we count going up those white cubes, there are 3 layers. So the bottom is going to be 4 cubes by 4 cubes, and it looks like it will be 3 layers high. So first let's find how many cubes would be in one layer. So 4 times 4 is 16. And then if we have 3 layers of 16, if we do 16 plus 16 or 16 times 2, that's going to get us 32. So that would be 2 layers. And then if we want to get a third layer, we would do 32 plus 16, which would be 48. So there's going to be about 48 cubic centimeters, or if we could have done 16 times 3 to get 48 cubic centimeters. So this cube, when we fold up all the sides and make it an actual cube, we will see that there will be 48 cubes, making 48 cubic centimeters. So for the rest of the problem set, just keep going. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'd be happy to help. I will be doing some live Zoom sessions that I can answer any questions, and I will be going over more of this tomorrow. But yeah, just reach out. If you have not done lesson 1 problem set, please go back and do that so you can get credit for that. And yeah, just keep checking in. Keep letting me know how you guys are doing. I hope this helps. I hope you guys are using this and finding it helpful. I'll also be posting a YouTube video relating to this same lesson. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good day.